no, she looks guilty as hell. And then I'm looking at it and I'm saying, did you really say that? Mm-hmm. Did you really say that Caitlin Clark should thank her Heavenly Stars that she wouldn't be worth anything if she wasn't playing in the WNBA? Did you really say? See, all of these things that Nafisha Collier brought up.
The WNBA spent 27 years fighting for attention. Now they finally have a superstar bringing in millions of eyeballs and truckloads of cash. As, naturally, the league office is throwing a tantrum. Stephen A. Smith just exposed something wild. The commissioner might actually be trying to sabotage her own golden goose. This isn't about basketball anymore. This is about ego, control, and pure corporate jealousy.
Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there? Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
Yeah, she can't make it from there. No chance.
Caitlin, from me, don't let.
You got it. I'm not even gonna ask.
Hey, Caitlin, from here might be impressive. Am I right?
Whatever, Che.
From right here.
From there!
Has the WNBA leadership completely lost their minds? Or is this the most obvious self-sabotage in sports history? Drop your thoughts in the comments. So, let's get into what actually happened here. Because this situation is genuinely insane. Reports started surfacing about a new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever star. Nothing unusual about that, right? Wrong, apparently. This advertisement sent WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and the entire league office into complete meltdown mode. We're talking closed-door meetings, angry phone calls, and what Stephen A. Smith describes as pure rage from the top.
Let me clarify first, because it's proxy season, right? No CEO do you just put the base pay in there. You put their bonus, you put their stock options, you put everything. Caitlin has the ability to make up to $500,000 just in WNBA wages this year. So, of course, they're just looking at a base which is collectively bargained. And actually, it's low because she's the number one pick. She'll make a little more than that. But she also has millions and millions of dollars of endorsements. She's actually, because she declared to become pro, her endorsements are higher in dollar value. She has a global platform now, not just a U.S. platform. So she's going to do just fine, as will the top players in the league, as every league does. Also, there's comparisons to the men. Those men's leagues are 75 to 120 years old. We're tipping off our 28th season. I would say if you looked at them 28 seasons in, we're further ahead. But I realize we still have a lot of work to do. And it's all about the...
Now, pause for a second and think about how backwards this is. Your biggest star lands a massive national commercial that puts your league in front of millions of people who might never watch women's basketball otherwise. The normal response from any competent sports organization would be celebration. Pop the champagne, send out a press release, amplify it on social media, and ride that wave all the way to the bank. But not the WNBA. Their response was reportedly anger and resentment. Stephen A. Smith didn't just speculate about this. He essentially confirmed it. He's been one of the loudest voices defending Caitlin Clark all season, but his recent comments took a much darker turn. He's not just talking about on-court drama anymore. He's exposing what he sees as fundamental rot in the league's leadership, according to SAS. The vibe coming from WNBA headquarters isn't celebration of their newfound success. It's fear and jealousy, because one player has become bigger than the entire organization.
Lisa Bluter was in the commercial, Travis Scott was in the commercial, Travis Kelce was in the commercial, Jason Kelce was in the commercial, like the podcast thing, which we're going to get to.
Let's break down why this commercial specifically caused such chaos. When Caitlin Clark appears in these high-budget advertisements, whether it's Wilson, Gatorade, or State Farm, she's not framed as just another WNBA player. She's presented as a cultural phenomenon, a singular force. The production value is through the roof. She looks powerful, independent, and most importantly to the league office, bigger than the WNBA itself.
It was super hype, and they also launched the campaign from anywhere, which is just perfect for Caitlin Clark. And obviously fans have been waiting for a CC signature shoe for years. It feels like years at this point. She is now 2 seasons into the WNBA, and we've gotten the signature logo, and we've also gotten some merch, but that signature shoe is what everybody is on the edge of their seat for. And she recently went on New Heights once again to talk about her signature shoe, and she talked about the new technology that will be going into this.
For fans, this is incredible. It's exciting and makes you want to watch basketball. But for executives like Kathy Engelbert, this represents a complete loss of control. See, the league didn't create that image. They didn't authorize the creative direction, and they can't control the narrative. When the commissioner sees Clark in these polished advertisements, she sees a player who doesn't need the WNBA to survive. Clark has her own economy, her own gravitational pull, her own empire. The rage that Stephen A. Smith keeps mentioning stems from this total loss of leverage. Usually, professional sports leagues control their players because those players need the league for their paycheck and exposure. Caitlin Clark has completely bypassed that traditional dynamic. She's making more money off the court than on it, and everyone knows it. That financial independence translates to power, and power makes people uncomfortable, especially people used to being in charge. Insiders suggest the timing of this particular commercial really set things off. The league has been desperately trying to push a collective narrative all season. They keep reminding everyone that it's not just about one player. They want you to focus on the history, the other players, the system itself. Then, boom. This commercial drops and absolutely obliterates that messaging in 30 seconds. IT reminds everyone watching that there's one person actually driving interest in this league, and it's not the commissioner. It's the girl from Iowa, who can drain shots from the logo. The contrast between the WNBA's outdated, low-budget marketing efforts and Clark's premium brand deals is genuinely embarrassing for the leadership. That embarrassment is turning into anger because it exposes their failure. For 27 years, the WNBA struggled to gain mainstream attention. Then one player shows up and accomplishes in one season what they couldn't do in nearly 3 decades. That's got to sting. Stephen A. Smith has been absolutely relentless about this. He's pointed out the absurdity of having a commissioner, supposedly a business expert, acting emotionally compromised because one player is getting too much attention. His argument is that the rage is actually covering up incompetence. Every time Clark lands another massive deal or stars in another viral commercial, it highlights what the WNBA failed to do for all those years. Think about it from Kathy Engelbert's perspective. You're the commissioner. You're supposed to be the business genius who grows the league. Then Gatorade, Wilson, and State Farm all do a better job marketing your sport than you ever did. That's humiliating. IT exposes you as not being very good at your job, SO, instead of learning from it. Instead of hiring better marketing teams to match that energy, the response is apparently bitterness and resentment. SAS also connected the dots between boardroom attitude and locker room behavior. If the commissioner is rolling her eyes at Clark's commercial success, why would opposing players feel any need to show her respect? The toxicity trickles down when leadership doesn't protect their star, when they treat her success with hostility instead of pride. It sends a message to everyone else that it's open season. This might explain some of the ridiculous hard fouls and cheap shots we've seen all season. We need to understand this rage within the context of WNBA history. For years, the league has been run by a specific group with a specific mindset. They view the WNBA as a cause, a movement, a collective struggle for recognition and respect. Then comes Caitlin Clark, who represents pure individual stardom and capitalism. She doesn't fit the mold. She disrupts the carefully constructed hierarchy. The commercial highlights this disruption perfectly. IT shows Clark as a singular force separated from the pack. The WNBA leadership spent decades trying to convince the world that the product is the league itself. They sell the shield, the collective.
Lisa Bluter was in the
But
commercial.
Clark's
Travis
brand
Scott was in the
partners sell
commercial,
her as
Travis
an
Kelce
individual
was in the
icon.
commercial, Jason Kelce
This
was in the
fundamental
commercial,
disagreement
like
about
the
what sells
podcasting, which
is
we're going to
causing
get.
massive friction. The old guard feels disrespected. They feel like all the foundational work they did is being ignored because some girl from Iowa can shoot from anywhere and happen to go viral. Stephen A. Smith pointed out this is the same energy behind leaving Clark off the Olympic roster. That decision was made by the old guard to protect hierarchy and send a message. You have to wait. Your turn. Pay your dues. But commercial brands don't care about waiting
it was
your
super
turn.
hype, and they also
They
launched
pay
the
for relevance
campaign
right
from
now.
anywhere,
Today,
which
this
is just
second.
perfect for
This
Caitlin Clark.
disconnect
And
between
obviously,
the
fans have been
slow-moving,
waiting for a
seniority-based league
CC
office
signature
and the
shoe
fast-moving,
for years. It
merit-based
feels like
world of
years at this
advertising
point. She
is
is now
causing
2 seasons
internal
into the
chaos.
WNBA,
The commissioner is
and we've
stuck
gotten
in
the
the middle,
signature logo,
and instead of
and we've
adapting to the
also
new reality,
gotten some merch.
she's getting
but that
angry
signature
at it.
shoe
Let's
is
talk
what
about the
everybody
money.
is on the
Because
edge of their
ultimately,
seat
professional
for.
sports
And she
is
recently
supposed to be a
went on
business.
New Heights
Stephen
once
A.
again to
Smith
talk
has
about her
repeatedly
signature shoe, and she talked about
accused
the
the
new technology
WNBA
that will
of
be
committing
going
business
into this.
malpractice, and the rage over Clark's commercial is a perfect example. In normal leagues like the NBA or NFL, when a player lands a massive national commercial, the commissioner celebrates. Why? Because it raises the value of the entire enterprise. IT brings casual fans to games, IT sells merchandise. So why is WNBA leadership mad? Because they're not getting credit. Clark's off-court earnings are absolutely dwarfing her on-court salary, and that makes the league look cheap and unprofessional. When casual fans see Clark in million-dollar ad campaigns and then find out the WNBA pays her a base salary of roughly $76,000, it creates a public relations nightmare. IT highlights the wage gap and lack of revenue sharing. The commissioner knows this. She knows every high-profile commercial she shoots is a reminder to the public that the WNBA doesn't pay its stars appropriately. IT invites scrutiny. People start asking uncomfortable questions like, why is the league so broke if this girl is generating so much attention and money? Instead of fixing the revenue model or celebrating the exposure, leadership gets defensive. They would apparently rather Clark be less famous so they wouldn't have to answer these hard financial questions. That's a scarcity mindset, fighting over crumbs while Clark is baking an entirely new cake. Let's focus on Cathy Engelbert specifically. She was brought in as a CEO type from Deloitte, someone who supposedly knows how to crunch numbers and grow a business. But she's been completely outmaneuvered by the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Her reaction to this new commercial era has been awkward and frozen. Remember, this is the same commissioner who struggled to answer a basic question about racial toxicity directed at Clark during a televised interview. She tried to give a corporate non-answer, and it backfired spectacularly. Smith has suggested Engelbert is raging because she knows she's on the hot seat. The owners of WNBA teams are business people. They see the numbers, the chartered flights Clark forced the league to adopt, the sold-out arenas, the merchandise flying off shelves. If the commissioner is seen as an obstacle to growth, if she's viewed as being petty about commercials rather than capitalizing on them, she won't last long. The rage is likely fear that she's being exposed as the wrong leader for this new era. Clark represents a pace of growth that Engelbert seemingly can't handle. The commercial is a symbol of that speed. It's slick, fast, globally appealing. Meanwhile, the WNBA's official marketing often feels clunky and years behind. It's a clash of aesthetics and competence, and the commissioner is losing badly. Instead of matching Clark's energy, reports suggest she's just bitter about being outshined by her own player. We have to use the word jealousy, because it's the only one that fits. Stephen A. Smith has used it. Charles Barkley has used it. Usually, we talk about players being jealous of each other. What SAS is exposing now is that jealousy goes all the way to the executive suite. Why would a commissioner be jealous of her own player? Because Clark wields more actual power and influence than Engelbert does. When Caitlin Clark speaks, the world listens. When Cathy Engelbert speaks, people tune out or don't even know who she is. That's a hard reality for an executive who's used to being the boss. This new commercial cements Clark's status as the face of women's basketball, regardless of what the league standings say. The office spent years trying to manufacture stars, trying to tell fans who to root for. Then Clark showed up and it happened organically, naturally, unstoppably. The rage is the rage of a micromanager who's lost control. They can't tell Clark what to wear, what to say, or who to sign endorsement deals with.
Lisa
because
Bluter
she
was in
doesn't
the
need their
commercial,
permission
Travis
or
Scott
their
was
money.
in the commercial,
This
Travis
independence
Kelce was
is
in the
seen as a
commercial,
direct
Jason
threat
Kelce
to their
was in the
authority.
commercial, like the
We see this
podcasting, which we're gonna
manifested
get.
in weird ways, like how long it takes WNBA official accounts to post Clark's highlights compared to other players. Fans have documented this pattern all season. It's petty and childish, and it comes from the top point. One of the most telling aspects of this entire situation is what the league doesn't do. When this new commercial dropped, did the WNBA official account repost it? Did they congratulate their star on expanding the game's reach? Did they issue any press release
So it was
celebrating
super
the
hype,
partnership?
and they also launched
No
the
complete
campaign
silence.
from
I
anywhere,
and the
which
NBA.
is just perfect
When
for
stars
Caitlin
drop
Clark.
new
And obviously,
signature
fans have
shoes
been
or
waiting
major
for
ads,
a CC
the league
signature
amplifies
shoe
it because
for
they understand
years.
it's good
It feels
for
like
the
years
entire
at this point. She is now 2
ecosystem.
seasons into
WNBA's
the
silence regarding
WNBA,
Clark's
and we've gotten the
commercial
signature
victories
logo,
is deafening.
and we've also
IT
gotten
confirms
some merch,
everything
but
Stephen
that
A.
signature shoe
Smith
is what
is saying.
everybody is on the
You
edge of their
only
seat
ignore
for.
your biggest
And
star's
she recently
success
went
if you're
on
bitter
New
about
Heights
it.
once
This
again to
silence
talk
is
about her
actively
signature
damaging
shoe,
the
and she talked
leagues.
about the new technology
Relationship
that
with
will
its
be
fan
going
base.
into
The
this.
millions of new fans Clark brought in aren't stupid. They see the double standard. They see the hostility. They're starting to view WNBA leadership as villains in this story. BY refusing to embrace the commercial. The commissioner is drawing a line in the sand. It's us versus her. And as Stephen A. Smith warned, that's a war the WNBA will absolutely lose. You cannot fight cultural momentum. You cannot fight the zeitgeist. Clark is the zeitgeist right now. We have to. Connect boardroom rage to on-court violence, because this is the darkest part of the theory. If the commissioner and league office are openly resentful of Clark's commercial appeal, it sends a message to the rest of the league. It's okay to go after her. If the commissioner treated Clark like the asset she is, it would set a tone of respect and protection.